Hey guys, welcome to the President Kitchen. Today we're going to be making a butter chicken. But butter chicken with red bell peppers and tomatoes. Yes, it has a kind of twist to it, but believe me, the smokiness and the sweetness of the red peppers give that beautiful mellow flavor. And I used to do this recipe when I used to work as a guest chef in a restaurant in San Francisco. And believe me, that red bell pepper butter chicken is outstanding. Now, definitely I can vouch for this recipe because I'm going to be using my favorite butter. President Premium Butter, all the way from France, but it's actually being made here. Made from top quality milk and has this whole beautiful technology where actually the ferment is added inside and then it's churned. So बिल्कुल घर के butter की याद आती है मुझे. Let's start cooking. Now I'm going to be making, as I said, a lovely butter chicken for which I'm using some boneless, skinless thighs. So I have about 450 to about 500 grams here. Now first things first is I'm going to be marinating my chicken thighs first. For that I've got about 2 tablespoons and a half of hung curd or Greek yogurt, jaise bhi aap chahe, however you like to do it. And then we have a little bit of 1 tablespoon of ginger garlic paste in this, 1 teaspoon of red chili powder, half a teaspoon of turmeric powder, a teaspoon of coriander powder, and I'm going to be adding half a teaspoon of chaat masala and definitely salt to taste, you know what I mean. Now with this chicken, we're just going to be lightly mixing it really nice together. Now you could even do these much more in advance. Agar aap chaho, you can even marinate it a day in advance or a couple of days in advance, but make sure that you are putting it into a fridge which is working, which is well below 5 degrees Celsius, because that's the norm which we have to do. So I've really nicely mixed this up. Now I'm going to be putting this on skewers, and at the back in my kitchen I've actually lit a small sigri where I'm going to be putting these on charcoal. But before I do all that, I'm going to be making our amazing red bell pepper butter sauce, yani ke makhani sauce. So first things first is just let's skewer all our chicken nicely. So you got to make sure that all of these are nicely snug together, just like this. So you could marinate and put them on skewers, or you can even actually just put them onto a tray. Exactly what suits you and what you feel works best for you, okay? So I'm literally just threading these onto skewers just like this. So ideally this recipe can be used even to make vegetables. Like I love to marinate broccoli like this. I like to even do cauliflower, tofu, paneer. Mushrooms make an excellent meat substitute for this. So the whole idea is that you should be using these recipes to create some delightful dishes. And I'll tell you what, just because you're vegetarian doesn't mean that you can make this recipe. You can absolutely do this recipe. In fact, I love cooking this recipe along with some really nice mushroom because it gives a really nice meaty effect to it. So our skewers are done. We've got our chicken which is beautifully marinated. I also have some red bell peppers which I'm giving a nice char, after which I'm going to be peeling these, okay, just like this. And the smokiness and the sweetness of the red bell pepper is going to give a perfect, beautiful, nice twist to our classical butter chicken. But however, the actual recipe of the butter chicken stays the same, but it's going to another level because I'm going to be kicking this or monteing it with President unsalted butter. Here I've got my onions which I'm putting in here. I have my whole spices like cinnamon, some star anise, cardamom, black cardamom. I'm sauteing my onions along with my spices without any butter or oil, okay? To which I'm adding about 7 to 8 cloves in here, about 8 to 10 black peppercorns, 10 to 12 dried red chilies, and we're going to be lightly sauteing them. Now to this, the magic begins right now, where I'm going to be adding about 200 grams of unsalted President butter inside here, and literally you will see that this is going to be turning into a gorgeous aromatic base for our butter chicken. Beautiful. Next, we're going to be adding to this, we have a little bit of ginger and garlic paste. I'm also adding about 50 to 60 grams of cashew nuts, which I've actually soaked in warm water for a few hours. Give this a beautiful mix, and you can see how amazing this entire pan has started to look. Delicious. Next, I'm going to be adding 1.5 teaspoons of red chili powder into this, along which I'm going to be adding 500 grams of lovely plum tomatoes, along with 1 cup of tomato juice, and we're going to be adding about 3 tablespoons of tomato puree into this. Okay, we've got this lovely amount of butter, along with which I'm going to be adding another 200 grams of butter in here, and very slowly and gently, beautifully, we're going to be cooking this down all the way. To this, I'm going to be adding about 500 mils of water as well. Okay, and I'm going to let this lovely, beautifully buttery, tomatoey masala mixture cook for about 30 to 40 minutes. Next, we're going to give this a little stir, and I'm just going to put this on a low simmer to cook beautifully. In the meanwhile, let's deal with our chicken. So I've got my bell peppers nicely charred over here. I'm just going to be letting it rest a little bit, and then we're just going to be literally just peeling it like this. Guys, be a little careful. My hands are made of rubber. Just kidding. So I'm just going to be taking this out, okay? And literally you could just use a tongue. You can even put this in water. So literally I just like to scrape, and you can see, wow, it's going to add a beautiful smokiness. It's going to add a very nice natural sweetness to these tomatoes as well, okay? So, I mean, instead of adding, some people like to add ketchup in their butter chicken, oh my God. But with all due respect, I thought instead of adding ketchup or any sugar, because sometimes the tomatoes do tend to get acid. So I thought the red bell pepper, that's the idea of how I got the whole reason why we should be adding red bell peppers to our chicken. So we've got these lovely peeled. I'm just going to puncture them. So I'm going to get rid of this little liquid in here. So literally I'm peeling my peppers, which I'm going to be adding here. Okay, it doesn't matter if you have a bit of the skin in here, because it's going to give a nice flavor as well. It's not going to be bitter at all, so don't you worry about it. And then what we'll do here, I've got my butter chicken here, and I'm going to be literally adding my smokiness to this sauce. Here we go, guys. Nice. So you can see that this is going to be a really fantastic, really nice and delicious sauce. We're going to turn this down a little bit. Now let's have our chicken going here. Literally chicken, we are literally just searing it off on this sigdi or charcoal stove. You can even do this in the oven, guys. Believe me, it works well as well. So we're just going to give this a nice lovely brush of some President butter on here. And now it's time to flip our skewer a little bit. Nice, beautiful. So I've got a nice char, I've got a lovely smoke flavor going on here. I'm going to be cooking the rest of the chicken inside the sauce so it beautifully simmers. I want the juices of the chicken go into that lovely butter laden sauce, my makhani sauce. Wow, this is just outstanding. So we have our tomatoes which have completely cooked down. They're nice and soft. The red chilies have also become very soft. Cashew nuts were already soaked. So I think it's time to blend it. So we've got all our contents of our pan going in here. Okay, as much as possible, I'm trying to avoid the whole spices, but a couple of ilaichis here and there will absolutely be no harm. I've also haven't put too many whole spices, so I think we are doing pretty okay. I got to make sure that I have all my tomatoes to go in my first batch, which I'm doing. Okay. Amazing. So our lovely bell pepper makhani sauce is ready. Wow, look at that gorgeous color. This is exactly the color which I'm looking for. And now we're going to finish this with a little bit of butter, some kasuri methi and some cream. So we have some really nice kasuri methi which we're just going to be lightly toasting it and then adding it into this. In the meanwhile, I'm going to be adding good 3 to 4 tablespoons of butter in this pan and then slowly gliding our butter makhani sauce in here. Beautiful. Here we go, guys. We've got this lovely presidential butter being whisked into this. I've got this lovely kasuri methi which I've toasted. Now remember, when you're ever using kasuri methi or fenugreek, it has to be toasted. Okay, once you toast it, it gets a fantastic aroma. So we're going to be adding a little of our kasuri methi or dried fenugreek in this, to which we're going to be adding some more butter. So I've almost got about 250 grams of butter completely in this dish. I'm going to be adding our chicken, which we have kind of seared. Okay, it's nice and chunky. It's very juicy. It's not completely cooked. It's got a really nice char of the charcoal which we really want. And I think this is one of the nicest dishes that I have created in a long time. And believe me, while I was cooking this dish in San Francisco, I was also using President butter. And here we are. It's called the Circle of Life. I'm in my beautiful kitchen here, cooking the best red pepper butter chicken using the most iconic butter of France. So here we have another classic, another winner, an iconic dish from Vicky's kitchen, along with the most iconic butter of France. So we've got this lovely chicken which is almost cooked. We're almost there, guys. Just a little bit of our finishing touches. We have a little bit of lovely chaat masala going in here. We have a nice spoon of unsalted President butter in here, and this is almost done. Some nice spring onions on the top, some little bit of fresh coriander, and voila, we are ready. Yeah, so I'm going to be spooning this gorgeous butter chicken. The red bell peppers has given it a beautiful sweetness. The butter has completely rounded this dish, and believe me, you could be serving this food in any part of the world, okay? Because you can get President butter all over the world. You can always have recipes from me wherever you like. Oh my God, this is so good. So here we have a fantastic version of butter chicken with red bell peppers and of course President butter. So this is the presidential butter chicken, and I think we have a winner.